want to continue to drive home the importance of getting a second opinion. I think that that's really important. And one of the topics that we're going to get into is it's not just important to get your legs checked and to get a second opinion before any procedure with your legs, but it's also really important to do the same with your heart. And we're going to be learning in the next hour after we introduce you to Alan and his Dr. Elsayed. We're going to teach you what you need to know to advocate not just for your legs, but also for your heart. So please welcome Alan.
I've been, like I said, P.A.D. for 17 years. I recently, after losing my legs or losing my leg, part of my foot, just wanted to keep fighting, moving on, because if I don't walk, I can't grow the collaterals to keep my legs and stay alive. So I was at physical therapy. I've been in physical therapy for about a year and a half. All of a sudden, I started getting tired. And I started noticing a little bit of chest pain. I was breathing, a little grabbing. And it was a weird chest pain, not normal chest pain. It was in my back. It came through, radiated the chest down my neck. And I had a local doctor. He did an angiogram. And it was about 3 weeks after the doctor was in the emergency room. I couldn't breathe. Test came back, no heart attack. No. And so they threw medication at me. It didn't help the pain. It didn't really do much. And about 3 weeks later, I had the angiogram. Came back, well, we're going to treat it with more medication. And I said, whoa, this is really affecting my ability to exercise. I don't like living this way. I'm popping nitros like they're gumballs. Take away my chest pain, especially at night. And my wife is saying there's nothing she can do. She's just worried that something's going to happen to me. And then I called Kym, not willing to accept this diagnosis that nothing can be done. And she called Dr. Doshi, who immediately called my new doctor, Dr. Elsayed, Mohamed, and I was in his office that afternoon. Told him my symptoms. We created a story together with our questions back and forth. And he was able to honestly almost diagnose me right there, because I know my body, I know the terminology, and we were able to create that highway back and forth with the connection. And that's where this great man helped save my life, I believe, because I think I was starting to head down a path of no return.
And it's just the important thing is that just as with your legs, just because someone has the title of a vascular specialist, it's the same thing with the heart, that just because they have the title of interventional cardiologist, it doesn't mean they have every skill that is needed for every single patient. But they will tell you that if they can't do it, nothing else can be done. They don't even think that maybe someone else might have a different set of skills, or, you know, a little humility, right? I mean, maybe they have an ego and they just can't believe that someone else might be able to do it. So here's a patient who's in the doctor's care. He says, well, what else do I have in my tool chest? Not thinking, what else does someone else have in their tool chest that might be different? And he said, I can't do anything. Nothing can be done. Just go home, live your life the best you can, take some medicine, and go home and die. I mean, isn't that what you felt?
Yeah, I felt with my body the way it is. If I don't exercise, it's over. Got to keep moving. Dr. Elsayed, who advanced doctor in this room, thank God I got through it very easily. Luckily, this other doctor didn't even test it. Testing what's called morphology. Is it soft plaque, hard plaque? And thank God I learned. very kind. He's very, he's very articulate. He showed me, I heard things with my training with Kym that I knew I was getting a good job done. I heard him say the word, we've heard IVUS. I heard 3 or 4 times I need IVUS. He sized the stent, he sized the balloon, and I knew right then and there, this man had done a good job. And once again, one of my best friends saved my life, at least my quality of life, which is so big for me. I want to start moving. I just now got through my PT doctor to go once a week to exercise for time like mid-planet big for me. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Elsayed.
So the first thing I would say, thank you, Kym, because I think that what she does for everybody is just unspeakable. It's amazing in terms of how you help patients get better, empower them to really find the care they need. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for calling me. When I met Alan the first day, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but he was suffering. I walked in, you kind of just had that suffering look on you. You were, in a way, in a place in your life where you did not. I talked to you. It's not that you've been patient for the first time, Alan. You've been a patient for a long time. And what I really appreciated is how knowledgeable you were about your condition. So you gave me details of everything you had done. I mean, I'm talking about very, very clear details. Which vessel, which bypass, when was it done, what was done, heart and leg. And I think without that, it would have been very difficult for me to figure out. That's why I figured out right away. It's just because you really laid out a story. I literally sat down and just recorded from the first time you had a problem, and you just basically walked me through your life. And you asked all the right questions, but you also provided me with all the information I need. And I think that's a lesson. Because once you walk into your doctor, if you're able to provide that amount of information in detail, you are helping them make the right decision.
But the right details.
Yes, the right details, of course.
The pertinent ones for that situation, and that's something that we work, right?
Correct.
When we're preparing you for your appointments, we talk about what is the right information that the doctor needs to know to make the decision of what to do with you in your health.
I was impressed with. I was impressed with this level of detail.
That's what I talk about, advocating for yourself strongly. Because if you don't know the details of your condition, that doctor can't help you. You can be the best surgeon in the world, operating, and come with all the credentials in a woman, but without that, he can't do his job. And we all have a tendency to go into a doctor's office and many times our doctor and say, I trust you, it saved my life.
You have great reviews by Dr. Google.
Yes.
There's a lot.
So the other thing is, what you gave me, I was able to obviously look at the images that you brought me. There were some missing things in the link, but I was able to construct a picture to figure out where your problem is. And tell you where this is what you need. We can do it. And you want to incline, it's not simple, but it's something we do all the time. If we can do it right away. And because we know exactly what we need, we've had all the information, we were planning, everything is very quick. We already know, where it's how you're gonna target it, how you're gonna fix it, and you're done.
I went in I was on the Monday, or Tuesday
Tuesday, probably.
afternoon, and he said, we're doing it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hurry, call my wife, we're gonna spend the night.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, your vessel was 99%, 95 minutes. You couldn't sit on it for too long, right? So, like, I can't, like, tell you, like, we're gonna do this, and we're talking about
He was
an
leaving on
emergency
vacation,
situation.
I felt bad, kind of being the last thing to take care of.
No, and I couldn't go on vacation. It's not something that I could wait, right? So, and again, even if I had to be out of town, I would find you someone to do it. I wouldn't really need them because you couldn't be using that much nitroglycerin. Then it's just not right.
Yeah. But you know what was interesting is here with Chicago Vascular is the way that they put patients first. And the whole start of the story is he calls me and says, I feel like I'm dying. And I was like, yeah, not on my watch. We work too hard.
Yeah,
Me and I would confront you.
yeah, probably.
No, you're staying right here. And so you're staying right here, sorry. But I was able to get on the phone with Dr. P.A.D. Doshi, who I've known for a long time as well. And, he's a pioneer in CTOs, and you guys have been working together for a long time. And I called Dr. Doshi, and Dr. Doshi, you can come up here, Dr. Doshi. Dr. Doshi was where when I called you?
Kym called me as I was crossing the Arctic Circle.
I said, Dr. Doshi, what are you doing answering the phone at the Arctic Circle? And what did you say?
Well, I said, Kym, you're calling, somebody needs help, and I'm there.
How are you going to help him? No, and he said he immediately sent me, and I'm like, I can't believe that I know Dr. Elsayed.
Yeah.
But now you're on speed too. So I called him, and Dr. Doshi was like, oh no, I'm sure he's gonna get him in that day. I give a call to Dr. Elsayed, and he's like, can he drive over here now? Does he have some records? Alan literally drives over to the hospital, picks up demands it. He's like, no, I need this. My life's on the line. I need this CD of these images right now.
Everything.
Yeah. And he got on the road, and he drove 2 hours in traffic to come see Dr. Elsayed. Dr. Elsayed's like, I don't care. We're going to squeeze him in somehow. If he doesn't mind just waiting a little bit, we're going to get him in today. These are doctors that truly take their patients seriously. And especially when we call, I don't cry wolf.
You don't. But it's also the heart, the vascular. We're not in a field where we could sit and wait and tell people call and make an appointment in 6 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever. No, we can't. People can lose their lives or their limbs waiting.
Yep.
So we are always in a process of, yes, you need help. People, when they call in, there's a problem.
Yep.
I don't think people like to go to doctors in general, If they call in, you get.
I like seeing this guy. I like seeing him. He makes me feel good. Just knowing it's there, he cares about me. And I lost 10 doctors this year. And the lady that's done my leg scans for the past 15. I have been rebuilding docs at my little arsenal for almost 6 to 8 months. It was amazing. Could anybody lose doctors within a 6-month period? Everybody tired, left. But this is how Kym's network worked. Use it. That's what she is here for. She loves helping you. She cares about every one of you. She cares about the doctor too. And I would recommend either one of you anytime that you need.
Thank you.
This is where I'm coming now.
Yeah.
And now they're taking care of my legs.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. So what she's asking is she wants to know can doctors read across it? Are they all on this one software system, Epic? But, and you can correct me as well if I'm wrong, what we suggest our guidance to our patients is every single time you have any sort of scan, I want you to immediately, before you even go in for the scan, I want you to say to the receptionist that I want a copy of this before I leave, right?
One other thing is if you travel, take a set with you.
Exactly.
There's two in my car.
I also tell my patients, if you give me a CD, don't give me the original. Spend $5 and
Yeah.
one because we get so many CDs for second opinion, third opinion, and they, I might look at it at home, I might look at it in the hospital. So you should retain your original with you. In general, CDs are older technology and USBs are better. But these, when they burn the CD or when they create it, it is not just the image files or pictures. There are complicated software applications. We call it DICOM, and there is also the application DICOM directory. What I found that when you try to transfer to USB, sometimes a couple of critical files don't come over. So unlike everything, in terms of this medical imaging, unfortunately, you still are better off getting a CD or DVD. Because I cannot tell you how many times somebody brings a flash drive and a couple of files are missing. And then I'm not able. Well, in the way they create the CD, everything visually has to be. It's a lot less likely to become.
The other thing is the flash drives sometimes have some like security things in them, makes it harder. You put it in the computer, you can get it through the system. So CD will definitely work.
We had a situation actually. Anyone know Douglas, our friend Douglas?
Oh yeah.
So Douglas was in a situation, he was getting ready to have an open heart procedure, and there was a hack that hacked the computer systems, and they said, we're going to have to not do this because we don't have any of your records or anything. And Douglas said, no,
My CD.
here's my CD, here are all my records. Even while he was in the hospital, he made sure that every single test that was done, he was getting the CD, he was getting the records, and he was printing it out and having it right there next to his bed. So if anyone came in and asked, and how often do these hackers, get into these hospital systems? We're seeing it more and more. We just had another situation in Michigan where we ended up with a hacker getting into the computer systems. So because he actually had everything documented and had every CD in this folder, they were able to proceed with the procedure. So, which is fantastic.
If all my patients ask for CDs for all the tests, yeah, it would definitely create a harm. But where it's important is especially the angiograms. And if you are even thinking for sure, I say that getting a second opinion or going to a different hospital, the first thing, even in my office, ask for, that would be critical.
Well, I want to thank Alan so much for being here, and Dr. Elsayed, you'll be back in a few moments. Thank you, thank you, thank you.